The man simply pulled the patient's arm forcefully once, and the patient's broken bone was instantly set back into place. The patient, who had been screaming in pain just moments ago, immediately stopped shouting. At that very moment, the hospital's deputy director arrived at the scene. She loudly scolded the man for daring to treat a patient without authorization. It turned out that the man was not a doctor at the hospital. He was merely an ordinary hospital orderly. The deputy director immediately began checking the patient's wound. To her surprise, the patient's injury had truly healed. The deputy director had no idea that the man standing before her was no ordinary orderly. He was actually the world's #1 medical master. He possessed a mysterious set of Eastern healing techniques. Years ago, he had saved countless lives, but he had failed to save his own father. Through his investigation, he finally discovered the cause of his father's death. It turned out the man had once taken a disciple. The disciple's name was Smith. Out of jealousy for the man's fame, Smith had secretly put something else into the medicine meant for the man's father. The man was utterly shocked. He was completely disappointed in Smith and grew tired of his current life. So he left his former hospital and came to Hospital A to work as an orderly. One day, an important patient arrived at the hospital. Her name was Mary. Mary's father was a billionaire worth hundreds of billions. Every year, the tycoon invested $10 million in Hospital A. The deputy director immediately called for the hospital's top doctors to perform surgery. Unexpectedly, a nearby nurse said that all the top doctors happened to be at other hospitals for training that day. Only the deputy director herself was available as a doctor. The deputy director was stunned. She didn't know Western medicine. She only knew traditional Eastern medicine. Then she suddenly noticed the man standing nearby, so she ordered him to assist her in the treatment. Meanwhile, inside the hospital room, the tycoon was looking at Mary with deep concern. The deputy director entered the room with the man. She carefully examined Mary's body. She found that Mary was suffering from a rare disease. This illness could only be cured by that mysterious Eastern technique known to the #1 medical master. But that master had been missing for 3 years. There was no way to find him now. Little did she know, the very man she sought was standing right in front of her. The man immediately saw through Mary's condition. He could easily cure her, but he didn't want to reveal his true identity, so he stood quietly on the side. The tycoon, however, didn't care whether Mary's illness was rare or not. He threatened the deputy director, saying that if the doctors couldn't cure Mary, he would withdraw his investment from Hospital A. To everyone's surprise, the deputy director immediately claimed she could cure Mary. It turned out that the man's Eastern medical technique was publicly known. However, it was so profound that no one had ever mastered it completely. The deputy director had only learned half of it. But to keep the tycoon's investment, she reluctantly decided to attempt treating Mary. But just as the deputy director was about to begin treatment, the man suddenly stopped her. He could tell at a glance that she hadn't truly mastered the Eastern technique. If she inserted the needles into Mary's body, Mary would soon die. The deputy director shook off his hand. In her eyes, the man was just an ordinary orderly. He had no right to tell her how to treat a patient. Ignoring the man's warning, she proceeded to insert the needles into Mary. Unexpectedly, Mary's vital signs began to stabilize. The deputy director smiled proudly. She mocked the man for being overly timid and ignorant. But the man's expression grew extremely serious. He warned everyone that Mary had only temporarily regained her life. In 1 minute, her condition would rapidly worsen. The tycoon was furious. He thought the man was cursing Mary to die. So he ordered the man to leave the hospital, but the man didn't move. He silently counted in his mind. A minute later, Mary's condition indeed became even worse. The deputy director panicked. Could she really have treated her incorrectly? The tycoon grew even more anxious. He hurriedly begged the man to save Mary. The deputy director immediately objected. Mary's condition was now even more critical. They absolutely couldn't let an orderly perform treatment. But the tycoon didn't care about that. He insisted that the man treat her. But at that moment, Smith suddenly entered the room. It turned out that after the man had left years ago, Smith used the man's reputation to make himself known as the second great medical master. But his hospital had recently fallen into financial trouble, so he came specifically to seek the tycoon's investment. The tycoon immediately agreed to Smith's request. As long as Smith could cure Mary, he would invest $100 million. Smith was initially overjoyed, but then he suddenly saw the man in the room. Smith panicked instantly. He feared that his crime from years ago would be exposed, so he quickly tried to drive the man away, but the man remained still. The tycoon urged Smith to save Mary first. Smith had no choice but to push the man aside. He took out a mysterious cloth pouch and performed another kind of mysterious Eastern healing art. But unexpectedly, Smith suffered a severe backlash. Mary's condition became even worse. The tycoon furiously scolded Smith for his incompetence. He decided to cancel his investment in Smith's hospital. At that moment, the deputy director regretfully told the tycoon that Mary was about to die. Just then, the man walked up to Mary's side. With a casual wave of his hand, 3 silver needles appeared between his fingers. The man skillfully applied his mysterious Eastern healing technique. In just 1 minute, he brought Mary back to life. Everyone was stunned. There was only one person in the world who could perform the Eastern healing art so flawlessly. Could this man be the long-lost #1 medical master?